So a beautiful autumn day, bit of cloud, we've had some rain yesterday, and anyway, it ain't the friggin' Weather Channel, but anyway. So what are we flying today? We're going to take the plastic, we're going to take the 3D glider out. Again, we've done some mods to it, surprise surprise. The little Ultimate, I'm really enjoying flying that at the moment. Do you get a plane that you sort of fly quite regularly and then you think it's just nice? Then you stick to it for 1,000 batteries, then put it away, and then rediscover it a couple of months later. So we're going to be flying that. That's my birthday present. That's the Phoenix 9. I've put 2 batteries through that already to see how it flies. Didn't bring the camera down, but just thought I'd bring it out before we did the sort of, anyway. And we've got a quad. So this quad isn't any old quad. This is the dReham Flight Quad, and I've been into VTOL for probably the better part of 8 years, ever since I got into the hobby. I've tried everything from the KK2, Open Aero VTOL. I've tried Multi-Wii VTOL, Pixhawk, Arcbird, and with varying successes of never really getting there. So got close a few times, but you know, it's a whole other world. Anyway, what I find, it's very complicated, and you've got to get your weights and powers and that right. So if you don't have something light and powerful and you're programming right, you're never going to make it. So a combination of those things have always eluded me. Anyway, this is the little green Hobby King frame and some 1806 kV motors and just some 3-inch props. I don't expect this to fly forever. I've actually downloaded the code for this VTOL, and it comes with a standard quadcopter configuration. So I'll just run through it with you. They're one-shot 125 BL Heli ESCs. There's a power distribution board down the bottom, and it takes the power from this and converts it down into like 5 volt and that for the receiver and for the flight control board and the IMU. Now there's an IMU that's in there, that's sitting in the middle stack, and that IMU does all the calculations for where it is in space, and of course the little teensy 4 board. So the board's about 30-40 bucks. The IMU I think was about 10 bucks. So for about 50 bucks, and I'll put a link in the description below. It's an open source Arduino project from a fella in Maryland in the States, and basically you can modify it to do VTOL. A little bit of programming, so I know enough to be dangerous with the programming, so it's a bit of learning over winter, which is coming on. So anyway, basically the IMU will tell the board what to do, and the board doesn't really care. So I've actually done a little bit different wiring on this for the 3-pin header. The project actually had the pin headers on the top and then going down, so your top pin was your signal, power, and then ground. What I've done is I've turned mine upside down, so mine is signal on the bottom, power in the center, and then ground on the top. And I've only connected the ground at the moment because I'm running these Opto ESCs, so there's no need to be playing with power up here at the moment. When I put servos on here, what I will have the luxury of doing, I don't know whether you can see that there, but I've put an extra row of pin outs in here, and the one just there, the signal pin's gone. It's not connected to anything, of course, but you've got the power and you've got the ground. So I will plug a UBEC into that and power that whole rail up, and then run my servos off there. So I'll have signal, power and ground. So anyway, enough of that. We are just going to see whether this thing flies. Now I've done a video and put it on YouTube in regards to the commissioning of the system, and I've done that, checked it all, and I've even done what I normally do, is put a battery in with the propellers on and stand out the front, and I do the roll and pitch and yaw to make sure everything's going the right way, even though I know it is, but even though, you know, it's a long way to come out here and then find you got something asked about face. So all the motors are going the right way. They're standard configuration in the old days where these are spinning in and they're spinning out. The new way now is these spin out and these spin in, so it sort of throws anything away from the board. I might change that around, but anyway, doesn't really matter provided you've got all that going the right way. So let's do a bit of a hover test and see if it sort of flies around. It's in angle mode at the moment. I've uncommented angle mode, and that's all I want to do. I haven't set it up. I've got a 3-position switch, so you can go between angle mode, what he's calling angle 2, which I'm assuming is horizon by the look of the code, and then you've got rate mode, which is like acro. Don't fly in acro, line of sight. So we'll see how we go, and this is the first test. We'll see how we go. So we've plugged her in. You'll see the light.
Telemetry lost, telemetry recovered.
So what happens, you power up, the IMU takes a couple of seconds to warm up, and then it sends a signal to go to the main loop for the flight control board. So we've got this so we can sort of hold it up. Always be careful, kiddies, with your quadcopters. And we'll put him on the ground, and we'll just see if we can do a bit of a hover test. As I said, it's standard. You set up, you've actually got provisions for 5 motors, 6 servos, an on and off throttle cut switch, and you've got a 3-position switch. As I said, we'll get into that later.
Take off.
So
engine off.
So not real good for the start with, but anyway, we'll see. We'll go again. Maybe we just go from the grass and not from the from that.
Take off.
Righto.
Take off.
It's all about testing.
Engine off.
So for some reason that those ESCs are cutting out. I don't know why.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry
I
recovered.
don't know whether that's my telemetry going into failsafe.
Engine off.
I did have trouble with this receiver. And that's why I took it out of playing, because it's crashed a couple of times, and I thought it might have been okay for this, but anyway. So have we got
80 dB. 96 dB.
We'll try it again, see if we lose our signal.
89 dB. Take off. 92 dB. 82 dB.
No.
Engine off. Engine off.
Just wondering whether I've got a problem with that battery. Let's
Take off.
seems to be alright when you hold it in your hand there.
Engine off. Take off. Engine off.
Okay, well, it's back to the drawing board anyway. We are getting there. Got a couple little things to sort out, but we'll see how we go.